those of you who don't know me, my name's Abna Sewa, and I'm one half of the Academy magazine team, so we've put it together in conjunction with Richmond. Kofi at the back is the other half of the Academy magazine team, and I wanted to say that this is actually my first time, like most of you, I think, meeting Cotonou in the flesh. Even though I've known him for about 5 years, this is the first time I'm meeting him today, just like you. So it's going to be exciting to actually hear him perform his poetry. So you're here to listen to epistles from Nkrumah Krum. And for those of you who are Ghanaian, you know, and if you're not, I'm hoping you know who Nkrumah is. And Krum means town, so Nkrumah town. So basically he's coming from Accra, and he came a few days ago to come and tell us about life, social aspects, economic aspects related to life in Ghana. What can I say?
Who's going to help me with this? You're right. You're right when they say. I'm going to do the first one. Okay. Speak slowly, guys, please.
Okay, in this wet month of June, I glanced upon a star. Who's gonna give me the next line? Yeah.
Oh no, put me on the spot. I'll go on to someone else.
Okay, who's next?
In this month of June, it is known.
Oh, so you would follow on from my. So I said in this first month of June, I glanced upon a star. So you would follow on.
You say wet or west?
Wet.
Yes,
Wet.
that's what that is.
So I can't repeat what you said.
No,
So you would just add on to it.
So start again.
In this first month of June, I glanced upon a star. A wet. See, I'll give him.
I've got it. Don't worry, I wrote it.
Yeah, I need to write it down.
Okay,
You'll go next.
I was struck by its brightness and I was wishing from afar.
Ooh, have you got that? I was struck by its brightness and I was wishing from afar.
It might be wet, it might be horrible, but the plants need it, the brain, to keep growing.
It might be wet, it might be horrible, but the plants need the rain to keep growing. Who wants to go next? I'm looking at you.
Oh, no. I'm not a poet.
I'm not either. Yes, Davina.
Into lush green goodness. I can't, someone else got to see that.
Into lush green goodness.
Grows and replenishes the earth.
Grows and replenishes the earth. Are we cool? Are you writing that? Okay, Tanya, I know you're hiding. Have you got a line for us?
Repeat your line again. The last one.
Grows and replenishes the earth.
Because as the world spins and generates its rebirth.
Any more takers? Is that a no? Silence.
No. In this wet month of June.
Oh, we're coming back to the beginning.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
In this wet month of June. She said something about rebirth.
Do you want me to read from where we're beginning?
Yeah, I know, but I'm just reading that now.
I like that.
In this wet month of June. Oh God.
The sunshine can't come too soon. So do you mind adding on?
Yeah, I like that one.
Right place to dream work. Yeah.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to complete the poem? I'm looking at you again.
No.
I'm joking. If not, we'll end it there.
No,
Are you? Yes.
So long as it's not cold to turn the heating on, I'm fine with it.
Brilliant. What we need now is just a headline, a title.
The month of June.
Okay, fine, brilliant. So what we're going to do is Poetivist is going to read it out for us.
I'll put it all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know
My
how
writing's
it's...
terrible, but so I did bullet points of 1. So you did 1, then I did 2, then you did 3 and 4. So I'm doing that one. Okay. Yeah. You
Okay,
need to
brilliant.
translate it anyway.
So the point of that was just to say that we're all poets in some way, and hopefully tonight will be inspiring. Some of you have heard Poetivist perform online. That's where I first heard him. And I actually heard him back in 2019. As I said, I've never met him before in person. Today's the first day, so it's really exciting. And what I was struck was about him was his powerful, rich voice, and just how he sort of paints a picture with words. So it's just really beautiful to have him here today. And one of the first poems that I heard him perform was Year of Return. So if you've ever been to Ghana, you know we had the Year of Return in 2019. We've also got a magazine, and I was collecting content for that magazine. And he had a poem called Year of Return, which he uses Osibisa's Welcome Home as a back, sort of the backtrack to it. So it was really nice just to hear him. He's got this booming voice. So that's how we started basically to sort of become friends. And since then he's supported Academy magazine. So I'm really excited to be able to be here to do the same, sort of reflect that back. And as you see, we are here in this colourful, beautiful retail spot, which is inspired by Africa. Behind us is the co-founder, Richmond, who's also an author, aren't you?
I've written a book.
Written a book. Fine. So, well, basically, he's actually the founder of Afiakus as well, which is another brand. So you can see some of the clothes around us. These are all independent entrepreneurs that have produced some of these items. So please, if anything grabs your fancy, look at this guy over here, have a chat with him, or follow on Instagram. So they're inspired_by_Africa, and you can find out more about what they do. So, without further ado, I am going to introduce you to Poetivist. Now, today he's going to speak about life in Ghana, as I said, the socio and economic impact that, you know, life over there has. And I'm just going to tell you a bit about him before I introduce you to him. Right, so his notable works include socio-political audio experiment called Untitled Country. Don't Let This Become Public is a conceptualized protest performance at Rhodelle, Ghana, and he was commissioned to write a series of poems for Ghanaian artist Ishak Ishmael's exhibition Beyond the Fence Begins the Sky. That was at the FPA Gallery in UAE. Additionally, his poem Ode to Africa was featured as the lead poem for TEDx Africa in 2021. And he's also performed alongside actress and all-round personality Mami Doknu and numerous other leading people, and also he's performed in different countries including Nigeria and South Africa. So as I said, this is the first time that he's performing live in this country, in Croydon, and he'll be performing next week in Brighton as well. So if you want to hear another side of his poetry, because today he's talking about life in Ghana, and he'll be speaking about mental health and that kind of trauma that is associated with that next week. But today, as I said, today's performance is called Epistles from Nkrumah Krum. Poetivist, wherever you are, please step forward. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone, and for coming through for the motherland and for the culture. I really appreciate your time here. It means a lot to me. It's my first time here, and I feel welcome. I feel at home. And if I'm thinking of the weather, I'll go back. But I think about the people I was staying. So thank you so much for coming. The poems I am performing today are protest poems, they reflect on the issues back home. Maybe some of you have not been to Ghana before, so you are going to see Ghana in these poems. I'm not saying Ghana is all bad, no, but I'm going to give you an aspect of the country that sometimes our media and our political figures don't put on the screen. That is what we are going to reflect on today. The first poem is quite untitled, and so enjoy it. And it is the intro to all the poems that we are performing today. So, darling, the poems once told me roses are red, violets are blue, and from our country's oath, being concerned citizens outlast empires. So today, do you promise on your honor to have some unspent country of you sober after this revolution, and still down a bottle of Hennessy with the country we will be? For darling, I hear revolutions televised, and if it is love and for country, you'll be mothers tonight all over the city. But darling, do you promise on your honor to still have some unspent country of you sober after this revolution? For if it is love and for country, maybe we will return home, but not the same. So this is the intro to the collection that we are doing. What this poem reflects on is that there are a lot of things, anger, that have bottled up in people in back home. And so I believe that one day the revolution that is bottled in these people will be televised, will come out. And if it comes out that it is on behalf of the country that this anger has been built for, then probably, you go to war and you don't return the same. So the people will take the country to war, and probably it is either the country will return the same or the people will return but not the same. So this is quite an untitled piece. The first poem I'll be sharing with you is titled Village Crimes. So here, village crimes. Let me there tell you the truth of the village. When the sun flirted with us, night came in shadows. We were sent away by a wind landust way here. The taste of our iniquities hovered on our tables. Our very important people seriously broke the village pot that we were all eating from, and we couldn't say a word. Last morning, our father was told the truth of his tongue. They say he went through the back of his wife, our mother, with speech, gnashing our sorrows. Could you believe it was when the nakedness of our eyes left enough at the village square that the chief boldly slept with the wife of the priest, when he, the priest, went to pray for the chief at the village? The daughter of the priest also fortunately slept in love with the chief. They made enough love to interrupt the silence of daylight. And the servant of the priest, he also grabbed the twins of the queen mother in the shrine camp and see cemented kisses pounding. Could you believe? The concerned neighbor who saw all called it sacrilege. He bought through to pay the debt of this fraudulent village. But the people, my people, your people, our people, they came for him at the neck, and the priest requested for his head. They say he has burdened the land with a curse. What did he do? He only questioned the skin color of the priest's teeth. He informed the people of the chief licking his hands at a gathering near Oshu. Today, our coward elders still go pouring vodka over his grave. I don't blame them. I don't blame anyone. They say it is to redeem us from the curse. Could you believe that upon all these, God and his silence dances abroad romantically on ancestral soil? This is Village Crimes. So this poem, oh thank you. Thank you. So this poem is a reflection of how when people stand up for the truth, then the government comes after them. if you check on Instagram and Facebook, some of my poems now you can't use them on audio. Like, you know how Instagram asks you to put an audio on some words and all that. Some of my poems have been muted. I don't know why, but if I look at the trend, I notice they are all poems that reflect on the social issues and stuff. I wrote a commentary about the NSAS, the issue that happened in Nigeria, and it has also been muted, so you can't use the audio on works. So this is a poem I wrote which talks about how the systems or the structures that we have back home do not allow us to speak the truth, to voice out the truth. So the poem was accompanied by the folklore song which we are going to learn today. I believe most of you have heard it before. It's Pete Pete. So if I say Pete Pete, then you reply
Seniwa de den de, Seniwa.
Okay, so some of us can clap, some of us can just. Okay, so let's go. Pete Pete,
Seniwa de den de, Seniwa.
Pete Pete,
Seniwa de den de, Seniwa. 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 Oh, Seniwa de den de, Seniwa de den de, Seniwa de den de, Seniwa.
So in Ghana, when we are telling stories, these are some of the songs that we say to break everyone, to break the session down and calm everyone for the next story. So thank you so much for singing along with us. The next poem is titled "And If They Televise."
I think you need to explain the Pete Pete to them so they know.
Okay, so there's a song that talks about a story, a vulture. So I don't know where to even start from.
Yeah, the vulture, everybody knows vulture is a cannibal, and then it eats or picks any rubbish that it can find. So Pete Pete is calling the vulture to come, and when the vulture comes, it's very relaxed, easy. Whatever food is there, it's happy to eat it. So not fussy, just yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Let's
You're
get back to
welcome.
it. Now, when it is an election year, we hear all these things, and so this poem is titled "And If They Televise." It is a poem that questions the use of religious utterances to get the hopes of citizens for them to be at the ballot and vote for them. So this is a poem titled "And If They Televise." Ghanaians believe in miracles. We believe in miracles back home. If people are going through a lot, you ask them, they will say, "Namebe, God will do it." So this is a poem titled "And If They Televise." And if they televise by any means, that we must climb hope with miracles and build this dying nation around the flesh of tabernacles. Do not forget to tell your clergy cows, miracles are refuge of villages without roots. And perhaps in all of this tragedy, heaven is quite unaware. These miracles and cathedrals they say can dissemble themselves as a remedy. And if they televise by any means, that we must toss off rivers to await Hamatan. Do not forget to tell your clergy cows that we, the people of this township, have poisoned the mighty Volta. But in order to compensate for our crimes, we have taxed the periods of young girls to afford a conference of climate knowledge for our COP28 delegates, because the government, our government, have gathered pesos from our dishonorable contingency funds to travel abroad for a nap. So if they televise by any means that we must climb hope with miracles and build this dying nation around the flesh of tabernacles. Do not forget to tell your clericals that miracles have taken our country to the ballot many times, and perhaps this time a bullet should appeal to our sentence by any means necessary against the empty chamber on Tuesday. But let it be that at gunpoint, those who harvest what is left of our land and sell them at the market square for $1 will run naked in search of their gravestones to await their second coming. And if that would be from a miracle, that is not a choice to argue. So if they televise. I think you all got the poem. I think I'll speak on 2 stanzas in the poem. The first stanza is the country Ghana is building a cathedral to help the Lord to restore some economic reforms in the country. So we are building a cathedral so that the Lord will come and restore the city, the inflation rates, the unemployment and all that. So that's what we are doing in Ghana. We are building a cathedral to help that. Well, maybe you can search online for the proper context of it, but that's how I interpret it. Now,
you speaking metaphorically?
Yes, yes. So now, I am saying that if we need miracles to reform everything, then maybe we must take down Parliament, and when we take it down, we should take it down because we have been voting. We are not seeing anything. So maybe let's use the gun to take Parliament down. Now, when we take Parliament down, and the people, those occupying Parliament, if they pass away, they tell us that we should believe in miracles for restoration. So if they also pass away, then I am praying that they will also believe in the same miracles to resurrect their dead bodies. So this is the poem, and they televise. But this is not a poem to say that they should bring an end to a republic, but maybe the time has come for us to think through our electoral process and see what best we can do, because the miracles are too much, the cathedrals are too much. And so this is a poem. The next poem is titled, I wrote it on Palm Sunday. This Palm Sunday, I was walking down the street and this is what I noticed. So this poem is titled Palm Sunday. It is a continuation of the poem, and if they televise the one I just read. As I walked out yesterday on Palm Sunday, I thought of our country. Perhaps the time has come for us to microwave some leftover feast, scull over truculent courts, silence the ballots, and somehow prevent the myopic state from Parliament. But the question is, how much is there in the name of this country to die for? 5% distilled royalties, already willed forest reserves, 1 citizen, 1 state barrier, or the religious remains of we shall overcome. It is in the defense of our motherland that I thought of our country, that maybe the time has come for us together to bring out our duty, microwave some leftover feast, and perhaps scull over tranquilous courts, silence the ballots, and prevent the myopic state from Parliament. But the question remains, how much is there in the name of this country to die for? 5% distilled royalties, already willed forest reserves, 1 citizen, 1 state barrier, or the religious remains of we shall overcome. So this is a poem I wrote on Palm Sunday, a very short piece. Now, I will throw the poem out to you so that we all discuss this particular poem. Now, in this poem, I was questioning what is left of Ghana, what is left of the Comanche. So there are a few things I noticed that we have left. I don't know how many of you heard, but there was a national reserve, a forest reserve that was in the will of a minister in Ghana. Something that belongs to the whole country is willed in someone's. So, what is left of your country that you think is worth dying for? I think I will start from that. That is the poem. That's what the poem is about. So I am saying that if I am going to die for my country, what is left of my country that I can boldly say, because of this, I am going to die for? And these are the things I mentioned. 5% distilled royalties. We take gold in Ghana. You all know Ghana as the Gold Coast. Yeah, we did gold. But what we have is only 5%. We only get 5% from our minerals. So if I am going to die for my country, it means I'm going to die for a country that will give me just 5% of what is taken from its own land. Now, already willed forest reserves. We don't know how many forest reserves that are willed in people's, but I know they have been willed out. So now there was another issue about the country needs money. So we've signed off a whole national reserve where we can get plant species. We've signed it off for a Chinese deal, 2 billion signed project. So we've willed the whole forest, the national reserve. I was telling a colleague that from Gatwick to Brighton, I've noticed there are more trees here than Ghana. There are more trees here than Ghana because no one cares about the country again. So 2 things. 5% distilled royalties, already willed forest reserves. Now, unpredictable power outage. In Ghana, when power goes off, you can't question anyone. You just have to keep quiet and swallow it. So is that what I am going to die for? If we are advocating that we need a military rule or we need a new change, is that what we are going to get? Now, one citizen, one state barrier is also something I mentioned in the poem. In Ghana, there was a campaign promise that one constituency, one dam, one district, one factory, and all that. But yeah, they sell empty promises on a daily.
I can't even begin with the thing because if I'm not even just speaking about that one specific country, I'm even speaking about the whole continent of Africa, how we are continually raped and pillaged of our natural resources, so rich in all these things, and as you said, even the gold reserve is only 5% is what you get, and that's all over the continent. So for me, I can't even begin to think what's left that is ours as a people to die for. For me, where I'm at now, at this stage in my life, I want to return back to the continent and build with our people, build infrastructure, build with one another to show that we as a people can work together. However, it's our leaders who are killing us softly, and they're only thinking about now, they're not thinking about generations and generations and generations to come. So it starts with a mindset, a change in mindset. And I think the younger generation are more revolutionist in their thinking, and it will take a revolution for things to change.
Thank you.
think I'll come to Joshua before I come to Joshua. What is it that you think is worth dying for?
I'd say probably the main one would be sort of family and community, and I think they kind of go hand in hand. I think that's something that I've always felt whenever I was back in Ghana with my family, with the areas I was. You felt so welcomed and you felt a part of that community in that place, and I haven't felt that anywhere other than when I've kind of been in that kind of space, where I've been in Ghana, where I've been with my family, and I think that means everything, and that's always worth fighting for.
Thank you. Okay.
What he said, literally what he said. Yeah, I don't think I can. But yeah, the community, I think a lot of the issues that we have is that we're not together, whether it's country-wise, whether it's us as black people as a whole in the diaspora, whether it's tribalism. I think if we all had one head and we all got together, I think we could perform those miracles, you know. So I think that's something worth fighting for, kind of like a mindset of one, which is hand in hand with what you said and what you've said with regards to the community and family. And I think if we just think of as one, then we could go very far.
Okay. Thank you. I'll take the last one, then you go to the next poem.
Yes, I think mine stems from our national anthem. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong, bold to defend forever the rights of our freedom. And I think we've let that go. And Nkrumah, our first president, worked so hard so that we can have the right to stand for ourselves and to defend our nation. But I'm afraid the young people are not raised to be bold, to stand for their rights, to be able to tell somebody what you're doing is wrong, compared to the Western countries where an MP or president or whoever, when things are wrong, they'll be able to say, we're not voting for you, and the next party who wins can do something better. So I think we need to instill or try to train our young people the right to be strong, to be bold, to be confident, and to really challenge where we have to. I went to school in Ghana. We never had a chance. When a teacher says something, whether you're right or wrong, you say, yes, miss, yes, teacher, yes, sir, and that is it. And I think we need to instill something in the younger generation so they'll be able to stand for their rights and they will be able to fight for what is not right to be put aside.
Then you can plan that, okay, at 3 p.m. I want to move from here to here, and you see trains or buses that you can catch. In Ghana, if you do that, please, you'll be at home. So this is a poem. It links into the national anthem. So this poem is titled "The Traffic" from Joel. If you return from the obvious traffic politicians do not observe, you can tell without laughing of all the likeness of God sleeping on pavements in search of dreams to make it to nirvana. And you will know, if the midnight rain swift hard on them, it will tailor generational dreams through obstructed drains and hurt them in their mother's tongue most. If you return to the obvious traffic politicians do not observe, some of the foot soldiers are left behind and stuck in fatted penury at the same place we belong. But they have also chosen to wade in silence, knowing the government's blood glitters, not even abroad, but before their front doors. They have learned to memorize their tears and pretend they are home at ease, defending their nakedness. When every day, this same nakedness, but of different private parts, stands religiously on 37 Liberation Road, robbing Peter to pay Paul. If you return to the obvious traffic politicians do not observe, and thy country could talk, You will hear yesterday someone wrote wrong in the news about the matrimonial bed of the state. So a constitutional right was suspended for tyranny to be reinstated in a familiar right. Well, I just returned from the obvious traffic politicians do not observe. And here is what I have learned from our trotro conversations. Although this country will periodically oppress you and demand your love in the next election, if you dare leave us beneath the feet of Philip, Beho will come back home and hear us still in the wind of memory, saying, Yumo, Aja Weye Jakumo, Ghana, which translates as God bless our homeland, Ghana. So in Ghana, politicians do not they don't obey they don't obey the traffic. When there's a traffic jam, politicians they're off. And if you sit through this traffic and you open the eyes of your ears and the heart of your eyes, you see the whole country unfold before your eyes. Now, the first stanza explores that there are children who have dreams for themselves, who have dreams for their country, but they are sleeping on pavement. And that is where they dream of a better country. Now, these politicians see these children, but they just go off. And the second stanza comes to say that if you sit through this traffic and you still see the country, you will notice that we have foot soldiers. There are people who are die-hard partisan defenders. They are inclined to one particular party. What the party is saying is right. Whatever they are doing is right. Now, if you look too hard in these people, you will notice that these people are also suffering just like us. They are going through the same thing we are going through, but just because someone gives them how much is 700 cedis in pounds? Let's say someone
£30.
A politician will just give them £30 and to buy data and come online and just insult. Now, this same traffic, if you look within this same traffic, you will notice that in Ghana there was a news. Someone was trying to analyze an issue with the president and his wife. Well, I don't subscribe to what the person was saying, but the next at dawn, this person was taken by national security. Where they took him, no one knows. They brought him back, and the person has not been the same. Like, life has not been the same for the person. He's now quiet. Now, these are some of the things that are happening that I think all this, if you want to hear stories of all this, you hear it in the trotro, what you will call bass. You hear it in the trotro. When you sit in the trotro, that's where the whole country happens. Like people talking about all these things. So this poem, I was inspired by the conversation that happened in the bus. I used it to write this poem. Now, the traffic from Jolu to Oponglo is like 10 minutes drive. It's like 10 minutes, but because of the traffic, you can be there for like an hour. And so when you are within that traffic, that's where you listen and you hear. Now, the latter part of the poem, which is the last stanza, I was saying that although this country will periodically oppress you and demand your love in the next election, we have been oppressed, like the whole country. We are going through economic crisis, social crisis, but still, in the next 4 years, you will see all of us in one queue going to vote again. And that's where they will oppress us, they will do everything to us, but they will also demand our love again in the next election. Now, the last two lines says that the one who wrote the national anthem is called Beho. So, if you don't take care and we call Philip Beho to come back to Ghana, he will still see us saying that, oh, God bless our homeland Ghana, God bless our homeland Ghana. Meanwhile, when the blessing comes, it goes to some few politicians who are occupying top positions. And so, this is, not everyone sleeps in pavement in Accra, but those who make the economic nature of the country work, the traders, the ordinary Ghanaians, they are like there's too much on them. And so this poem was dedicated to all the people sleeping outside Accra. You know, we have been fortunate we don't have a weather like this. I can't imagine what will happen. My knees have been shaking all this while. So that is the traffic from to. No, if you sit in your buses, what do you hear? Chris, if you sit in your buses, what are some of the things you hear? Or I don't think people hear them talk.
They don't.
No, they don't.
They talk quietly.
They are there on their phone.
It's really serious.
Let's say hi to you.
Because Ghana, if you want to hear what is happening in Ghana, just pick public transport. Someone, I remember there was a video, someone wanted to pray, they were traveling. So the person stood up there, oh, please let's close our eyes for a word of prayer. And someone said, no. It's not the Holy Spirit who drive the car, please sit down. And the whole country, and we are a partisan country. I'm saying we are partisan because when you see the numbers during election, you ask yourself, are these the same people who are complaining about the answer?
It's a mindset change.
Yeah.
How does change happen?
Change is a very difficult thing. And we need a revolution. We need a revolution that starts inside. We need people who will understand that it is not because I was born in a color blue family, so I have to tilt towards color blue. We need a mindset that states that, okay, there are 4 contestants on the ballot paper. You tell them these things, and you advocate that they should also extend that to their. But the unfortunate thing is we don't have a good structure that allows Ghanaians to speak up. And so I was at the Brighton University this morning, and I saw the university students protesting that this university oppresses animals, sources. Yeah, I was there. Ghana, hey, you are protesting against the. Our own people will not even show up. Our own people will not show up. There will be protests going on in Ghana, and people will be online. Yes, we will protest. I understand that, but it took the blood. That's why it's in our national anthem. The blood of our forefathers. So sometimes it takes. Someone needs to sacrifice to make the change happen. So we need to show up. We need to stand up. We need to speak up. I have been inspired by notes from Martin Luther King. You know, they didn't give up. These people fought, like they came at the war front and fought to make things happen. So we need to step up. Like Malcolm says, I wish one day you visit Ghana and see. There is another poem. The audio has been muted on social media. It was on the NSAS. Now, speaking of people who are scared that the police will come after them or the military will come after them, this is a poem titled 2010-20, which that same year, some people, there was an incident in Accra, and the military, you see, I don't know, I've not been to military academy before, but I know warning shots. What was, if they want to give warning shots, what do they do? They point to the sky, right? A military man was shooting this way, and we asked, he said it's a warning shot. Like, that's that. There have been people around him. So I wrote this poem to address the issue of police brutality. It's titled 2010. I will read it. In the night of our distant country, a green uniformed bullet whispered downtown. In front of the graphic, it read like daily. Of the government still chain smoking the freedom of we the people, bringing home into conclusion and speaking injustice fluently. This night bloomed over the city, knowing the disappearing of many, some convicted before proven guilty. All over the news, giving up was told loud already, and brothers waved goodbyes to families. We were safe on our own last night. We had nowhere to go. And in the eyes of we the people's voice, we had something to say. We weren't searching for tears, but wonder why a hashtag of truth is treasonable. Night fall, and we only lay nights on the outskirts of Hope Shadow, panic in wait death faithful entry. Because when we speak one more day, the government will give us enough time not to breathe. Oba, in the freedom of where you choose from, we have become traitors to our own country. How did our country hear us wrong? How did our country hear us wrong? How did our country hear us wrong? This is page 10, 20. It was just a hashtag that people were using and sad, just advocating that police brutality should end. In Ghana, for instance, it was just a hashtag, Ejura, because in Ejura, this is what happened in Ejura. A young man had issues with the police, and the police went to his house at midnight to pick him up. The next day, he was gone. So the citizens in Ejura were just asking for justice. That what happened to Mr. Susu and so? What happened to him? They were just asking and they were just seeking for justice. Same thing happened in Nigeria. The citizens were just tired of. There was another reform in the police division that was targeted at ending crime in Nigeria. Now, they grew wings and became so powerful that they ended up brutalizing the citizens. And so the citizens were just using a hashtag that ends SARS now. And they went on a protest, Lekki, they stood at the toll gate and they were just demanding answers. Same thing in Ghana. What happened to the young man in the Jura? The people also took to the street asking for justice. Right? What happened? Because it was the police that came for him. So what happened to him that he passed away? They should just answer. And that was the end. A lot of people died. Because the system is always afraid of people speaking up. Same thing in Nigeria. A lot of people passed away. So the question that this poem is asking, that we are just speaking. So how come our country heard us in the wrong thing? Like how? Because we are just demanding for justice. And if you are demanding for justice and you are faced with another level of death, then it means your country has heard you wrong. Maybe you didn't speak well, or you didn't ask for the right thing. But it's asking for justice wrong. It's asking for justice wrong. And a lot of people passed away in Nigeria up to now. No answer. People have died during the election period. Up to now, no answer. There was one journalist who went to capture, the state procured some vehicles. He went to capture the state of these vehicles, that we've left them and they are just being destroyed in the rain. So he was just going to cover and just tell the people, and the military grabbed him. he came back, his life has not been the same. He's quite. So you ask yourself, is it wrong to speak up in your own country? Is it wrong? And these are some of the things that we have a human rights lawyer as president in Ghana. We have a human rights lawyer as president in Ghana, but how dare you speak? And no one gets on the national television to address some of these things. No, when you die in Ghana,
It can't be controversial. That's what they don't want to be controversial.
but what is the need for a system? What is the need for a system? The police division, for instance, what is their use? Because you are there to protect citizens, protect civilians. So if you end now, you walk into a civilian's home and you pick them at midnight, they return and their life is not the same. Meanwhile, the president is a lawyer. I'm not saying we should vote for an alternative, because in Ghana the alternative is. So Sabali, we must set forth this revolution at dawn, and on behalf of our despaired dreams, still hatched by rattlesnakes on communion tables, although they congregate as diplomats of heaven, who gather pleas but from begging conferences and vow to patch tears where they hurt most, rather compose new hymns for deaths gone before. Sabali, we must set forth this revolution at dawn, and on behalf of our despaired dreams, against these religious polity folks who parade gospels and rainbows beneath the shadow of our struggle, and many times promise us to the unborn of the lost redemption, how it comes pre-installed in blue or green, knowing they are only selling water to our drowning souls at the outskirts of our hopes. Sabali, we must set forth this revolution at dawn, else not long, before our village goats will scratch themselves against the wall, they will hold a knife in our future's throat, cloud this infant field of grain and fence, and unseen fertile dreams of our soiled children beyond theirs, and so there plant unto us a cathedral for our redemption. So we must set forth this revolution at dawn, and on behalf of our despair. So this is another poem. It's titled Susu Baby. Susu Baby. I dream of something, like think of something.
Imagination or imagine something.
Yes, imagine something. Like, and it is the motto of one of the powerful chiefs in Ghana, in the Eastern region. Yeah, they would see what's the name? I've forgotten this guy, but this is one of their powerful statements. You should really think of something. So what this poem is also thinking of is that I wrote this poem to an unborn. When I grew up, I want to give birth and name my child Sabali. And Sabali means God, time, patience. So in this poem, I was telling Sabali that we have to set forth a new revolution. But I'm repeating the poem. We must set forth a revolution on behalf of our despaired dreams, still hatched by rattlesnakes on communion tables, although they congregate as diplomats of heaven, who gather pleas but from begging conferences, and vow to patch tears where they hurt most, rather compose new hymns for deaths gone before. Sabali, we must set forth a revolution against these religious polity folks who parade gospels and rainbows beneath the shadow of our struggle, and many times promise us to the unborn of the lost redemption, how it comes pre-installed in blue or green,
knowing very well they are selling water to our drowning souls on the outskirts of our hopes. Sabali, we must set forth a revolution. Else not long, before our village goats could scratch themselves against the wall, they will hold a knife in our future's truth, plow this infant field of grain and fence, and unction fertile dreams of our soiled children beyond mess, and still dare plant unto us a cathedral for our redemption. This is Susuprivi.
I'm waiting for when Sabali will be born.
Yes, please.
Like, I have a dream.
Yes.
That's how I see it.
I have a dream that one day the bank of injustice will be credited with justice. That's Martin Luther King.
Yes.
In listening to that, Sabali, your poem there, and then as I am digesting it, you can assimilate it to your dream. I have a dream.
Thank you. I believe the poem is clear, right? It's clear.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in Ghana, there are two colors, green and blue. The government and the opposition. And we are going to rotate, obviously. We will just wait for something, but we are just going to rotate. The green will come, then we'll complain that the green is not blue. And we voted the blue out because the blue is not blue. So in the next 4 years, we'll go back to the blue and complain the same way. So now this poem, I was saying that if we don't do something now, if we don't wake up, before our village goats could scratch themselves against the wall, what will happen is that they will sell our soiled children's future, like the future of our children, generations to come. They will sell their future. When they sell it, they will gather the dollars, the pounds for themselves. And when you ask them, they will tell you, we will plant a cathedral for you to redeem the mess. So this is Sabali. And the next poem, so that will break and Maria will come. The next poem is titled Part-Time Citizens, Daytime Criminals. Part-Time Citizens, Daytime Criminals. Now this poem is in 2 sessions. I was asked to write a poem for a church using the Beatitudes, the book of Matthew. And when I was writing the poem took a different turn. Because I always think about my country. Like, I always think about Ghana. Because there's no place like home. Look at how I'm suffering under this weather. If I go back home, if I go back home, I'll be okay. Like, even in the sky, I'll just feel okay. You see, and so I feel there's no place like home, and so I constantly have the thoughts of my country on repeat. How do we make things better? How do we do it? And I am just hoping. Hope is a dangerous disease, but I am just hoping that when nature elevates me and I also get probably to the high offices where you can make change. I know I can make change even in my small little way. I'm just hoping that, looking at how the system has been on my neck and frustrating you up and down, when I get there I don't become like these people. Because to me, I think that is the big challenge we're having. People struggle to get to the top. So when they get to the top, they have to pay the debt. Now before you finish paying the debt, you have to now look at yourself. And so by the time they spend like 8 years or 16 years in office, they are redeeming with like. And so you get people who complain, oh, we need this done, we need this done, we need this done. They will struggle when they get to the top, they forget that we need this done. And now, so that's one of the things I've been praying about. So this poem is titled Beatitudes. I was just blessing everyone. The subtitle is Part-Time Citizens, Daytime
criminals. The attitudes. We who wear thoughts of others like a suit and tie are time citizens, daytime criminals. Here is water for the seed we sow to grow the church. And here are prayers we pray for heaven contractors to come clear our city gutters. Our time citizens, daytime criminals. Blessed be our politicians, blessed be their sacred tongue, blessed be their holy lies, blessed be their priceless vows, blessed be the citizen, blessed be his toothless courage, blessed be our spectators, blessed be their silence, blessed be smiles that weep at dawn, blessed be hands that lend us strength for enough time, blessed be tears that ignore the cry, blessed be our pastorpreneurs, blessed be their prophecies, blessed be the church for erecting fear in the heart of our mother, blessed be the jubilee for pulling down the walls of our father, blessed be us, we who wear thoughts of others like a suit and tie, part-time citizens, daytime criminals, we who wear grey hairs yet seek breast milk, may posterity read us like figures, part-time citizens, daytime criminals. One day, rumors of our country's dead body will be for your safe distance. I ask you keep your stupid eulogy to yourself. For us, when we go, unearthing graves for the new revolution, as beautiful as Sunday morning, you sit at home and we watch the people we do not rehearse our constitutional dance with pride. Ye part-time citizens, ye daytime criminals. One day, our country's dead body will be for your safe distance. I ask that if you are hurt, keep your stupid eulogy to yourself. Part-time citizens, daytime criminals. So I am going to drink water, drink some water.
I'm sure you're all really inspired. We have been from behind here. So I'm just going to introduce Samira. So our first performer after Poetivist is Sammy Wright. So Sammy is an international award-winning spoken word artist, poet and author from London. Her first poem was published when she was 9 years old. She has won international slams in New Zealand, Abu Dhabi, and of course in the UK, and has performed at Glastonbury. Sammy uses rhyme as a means of release and therapy, and through her spoken word inspires people in her community to speak up and take action. Her poetry touches on everything from identity to communities, places, relationships, mental health, injustices, and day-to-day experiences. So, Sammy, the floor is yours.
Hi guys, yes, so you know my name is Sammy Wright. Just as a disclaimer, today, this weekend is like everyone's fasting, Muslims, and tomorrow is going to be people doing the pilgrimage Hajj. So those that don't, they fast, and of course tomorrow we celebrate, which is the festival of sacrifice. So I wasn't sure what to perform, so I thought just to keep it on the theme, I'm going to start from a really short 16 bars, small poem that I wrote, about wishing how I could have been with the pilgrims today. But yeah. They be trying it on, I'm just trying to stay calm. Fasting like it's Ramadan, trying to increase my iman and stay away from haram. It's time for sacrificing, giving alms. Wish I could have been with the Hujjaj up in Masjid al-Haram, but it's calm. Inshallah, my time will come for me to do the pilgrimage. Need to tick it off the bucket list like I did with the pyramids. Yeah, I like to live a bit. Islam's my way of life, so I try living it. It's a time for sacrifice, so I'm giving it away if I'm not needing it, even if I'm wanting it. Jannah is the goal and I'm hunting it. Thank you. Woo! Now, to follow, because today we're talking about politics and stuff, I thought I'd share like my most political piece out there. It's literally using alliteration to talk about the world problems, what's going on, and it's also like a track on my daily. So here goes. Anger accumulates after absorbing articles addressing aggression and abuse towards Africans and anyone ancestral. Aardvarks are African animals, but Africans aren't animals. Annual attempts to annihilate and abolish all ain't always about Afghanistan and America. Armed authorities also abide in Africa. AK-47 aims, accuracy attained, another assassination acclaimed. Americans are always about, and there's always a Nazi around. Broad and alien ancestors alight, alert and awakened alive. Anger aside, I'm always advancing and attaining achievements. Acclaimed author, also an artist. Audiences applaud and appreciate the art. Alhamdulillah, always ask Allah, attempting to attain the amazing attributes of his apostle Abdullah. Better to begin with Bismillah, bringing bounce of blessings and barakah. Banned the burqa and broke the barrier, bound by bureaucracy. Black is beyond beautiful, but being black's also a burden. Black boys, born and bred in Britain, bring bane before bringing bliss. Blacklisted, barred, barricaded behind bars, by the clubs and bloodbaths, beefing in back streets, back in buddies, beaten black and blue, then bodied in body bags before being buried. Baby mummies wore babies without baby daddies. Bad blood between brothers, broken bonds, babies born into broken homes. Black, British, Cameroonian, covered up and causing confusion. Culture clashes and communal conflicts, centuries of corruption and calamities. Commanders conquering countries and creating colonies. Civil wars and colonial conflicts, constant catastrophes, corrupted systems, colonialism. Can't stand capitalism, can't stand communism. Concentration camps need cancelling. Corrupted leaders be moving crazy and need counselling. Crying for change whilst counting my change. Carbon emissions concurrently contribute to climate change. Creative creations, creators create and convey their craft to communities across nations. Creator, created creation. Catholics confess behind curtains, confide in my creator for certain. Committed to the commandments conveyed in the Quran, but I still commit haram. I'm constantly under construction, changing my ways for the better, trying to circumvent combustion. Constantly challenged from the cradle to the coffin, like CCTV. I'm constantly clocking my circle and what I'm copying. Camera shy children captured on cameras owned by cyber criminals. Carnivals moving cynical, casually criminalizing and corrupting our children. Cancel child trafficking, cancel child abuse. It's time for the child to choose. Court case to claim custody, child protection. Children in care, cause careless couldn't care less. Continents connect to combat corona. Conspiracies concerning China can't cure cancer. Deadly diseases, dementia and diabetes. Death by disease, dying with dignity, divinely decreed. Devout to different deities, different doxologies. Doing dua daily, demonstrating dedication. Displaying disapproval of dictators at demonstrations. Determined to dismantle the system and disempower those doing dodgy deals. Done well to dodge drugs, but I dance for the devil. Dive into my duvet on dark days, dealing with depression. Defeated, but determined to defeat it. Like Ebola, every epidemic ends up ethnically cleansing and eradicating excellence. Evil entrepreneurs endeavour to extirpate the evidence. Eccentric endings, elections, extraordinary renditions and extraditions. Politics of exception. No explanation for a number of executions and exonerations. Euthanization and extermination of educated ebonies, essentially eliminating enemies. End up expressing empathy in endless eulogies. Everyone dies eventually. Find ourselves at funerals frequently. I frequently flee from Facebook, feeling fatigue, frustration and fed up of having feds up in my face. Fortunate to not have FaceTime, face fines and face hard times, fighting for freedom and fighting on the front line. Ferocious fiascos, frequently featuring favelas in Palestine. Brenfall's gone green, got goosebumps breathing for yet another government-generated genocide. Green light given to guys mutilating from female genitals. Got us up getting gentrified, guys and girls gang banging and getting gone, ghosting and getting gone. Generations gathered in graveyards, going to God or going for grief. Getting more guards, we grabbing garments and grievously bodily harming groups of guys in Guantanamo. Gitmo's gotta go hurriedly, it's a horror story that's gone horribly wrong. They hit men like they hit men in Hong Kong. Hearts heavy, hearing horrendous headlines. Hurting humans are hurting humans, hacked hysteria. Informants infiltrating and obtain information, which in hand leads to increased incarceration and institutionalization of innocence. Isolation in place, interrogated away from internees and inmates. Inside, indefinitely once inside, incorporated into the world's most inequitable incorporation. Jail. Justice is far from just. The judiciary system is a joke. Judges are jesters who enforce us with jokers and are forced to jail juveniles like Jermaine and Janae just for being black or brown. Jinxed unlike John who jacks truths and jumps Jamal but doesn't go down. Kings killed by knives and knocked out the Kalashnikovs. Ku Klux Klan and corrupt chops. Long lifespans are unlikely for lads and ladies that look like me. Lifelong sentences and long hours of labour are more likely in lands like Libya and the land of the free. Lay low if you don't want to get left in the lake lynched or used as a lab rat. Liberate yourself from leaders and lead your own life. Light your own life. Make time for memorization. Menmelekini and madness and medication or meditation. Morning mantras because manifestation conversation matters. Make moves but keep them muted. Never narrate nice news or new moves to a narcissist. Nurture nature, newborn and new beginnings. Overcome obstacles in order to obtain your optimal. Object oppression and the obstruction of opportunities. Oppressors open fire at the opposition in onslaughts of owning oil and owning others like property. Pandemic got people panicking, panic buying and pointlessly paying for paper packaging. People in power are profiting from prison populations and profiling the penniless. Pictures of poor people who partially portray poverty. Paupers are predominantly poor because they pay poorly. People of colour are perpetually prevented from progressing and pitilessly pushed aside or passed over when peacefully protesting against police brutality and public policies. People are popping pills and poisonous particles periodically, prickled with pain, palpitations, hearts pounding. It's time to pause, be present and ponder, practice patience and prosper. Quarantines questioning our leaders whilst pulling Quranic quotes and casidas. Radicals run rampant with racist regimes. Radio silence from reporters reporting on scenes. Realize, ready for the revolution to be televised. Some states still sanction sterilizations, stealing stillborns before they're stillborn, surgically stopping sperm and stealing semen, sabotaging sex life and smitten sweethearts. Strip search and sentence, separated from soulmates in society, struggling with sobriety. Suicide strikes suddenly. Turbulent times, terrible tragedies taking place time after time. Torturous techniques used to terrorize and traumatize targets. Tyrants toppled and taken out by tired people that are tired of being tired and treated life threats. The Uyghurs from Umriki are under attack, uprooted to an underworld where they are undermined and urged out to crack. Violation after violation, vulnerable victims of violence, verbals and victimizations. Victories are vastly valued, so virtually is vices versus virtue. We want wonderful things, but we're not always willing to put the work in. We worship when we're weak, when we're worried, and when we're weak, but why do we forget to thank him when we win? That's wars like wars being raged by Romans, xenophobia in Xinjiang, Xi Jinping exterminating man, Yazidis and Yemenis have become yesterday's youth, like a lot of Generation Y youths. Zionists speaks ever crossing into zones like Palestinian homes. There's no zen in this zone. Can't sleep, need to catch up on seas. I've zoned out zooms in time, but for now, it's time to zoom back into reality. Thank you. So yeah, these pieces, that piece is on my daily EP. You can find that online. But lyric videos, I appreciate there's a lot to take in.
That was from A to Z.
A to Z.
Yeah.
When did the Z to A will come out? Yeah, so I'm still working on some projects. I've been out of the country for a bit, but I am due to release another audio project soon as well. So yeah, keep in touch. SammyRhymes.com where you find it. Take care.
Hello guys, remember there's some nibbles at the back if you want to stretch your legs, if you want to get something to eat. We've got juice as well, so, and I can get you some stuff if you want. Okay, so we actually have an impromptu guest, Tyree, who is also a poet. He's going to give us one rendition just before Poetry's return. So over to you, Tyree. Tell people a bit about yourself as well.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So hi guys, my name is Tyree Sama. I'm from Peckham. I'm also Ghanaian, as you can tell with my last name and obviously my face. I've taken part in a number of poetry competitions, like in third in the Roundhouse Poetry Slam. And yeah, I think Tanya was at one of my first poetry collections, Odes to SELDN, which one of them was called Epic of Ebon, which followed a Ghanaian uncle all the way from Kumasi to Peckham, and it detailed his trials and tribulations, because often, but this piece was written for Southwark Council, was for their Ghana Independence Day, and they asked me to recount my childhood memories in Ghana. So this is it. I haven't read it in a while, so please forgive me.
It's really good. Okay. It's really good. I really liked it.
So I've been tasked with recollecting my memories of a childhood in Ghana. Memory is a home, but forgetfulness is bricklayer. However, I endeavoured to my foundations and found it composed of vignettes, not rose tinted, but saturated with a Kumasi sun, sunk deep like melted shea butter. I remember the discovery. Open gutter, cavernous cleft in road, to its side, a goat bleating, the rejoicement and pain in tone, soft as Bambi-legged babe emerged, covered in what seemed like honey made into shore. the little baby, bandying about, attempting clumsy first steps. We shooed it from gutter, knowing its congealed foul had claimed slippers from feet and skin from knee and elbow. A child of British November, like snow, I remember a layer of skin flaking from me, translucent and often. I remember the rains, how they felt so vicious. I remember having to be dragged back, told I couldn't best my miwata in hand-to-hand combat, even with the new kung fu moves practiced upon me by my older cousin, which I then used to whip my younger cousin. The sun was not harsh. Instead, it coated like sweetness coated the seed of cocoa fruit. I remember the mystery of bags of water carried in massive bowl. Bags of water ice cold in the swelter, heads high and carrying, I remember wilderness. Even the cats rugged, sustained on a diet of fish bones and gristle and soup. We barely disturbed them. They had lives and duties of their own, just like the hounds. Unseen during the day, which patrolled the compound at dark, their hellish howls kept robbers and dreams at bay some nights. I remember the successful robber. His loot, a couple of cans of sardine, being chased by the whole neighborhood with machete and hurled stone, young and old, chasing as he ran, chunks of him left behind in splotches, the tins of sardine held onto, for hunger doesn't abandon. I remember watching the scorpion from hushed veranda, red and wound like bloodied fist, wondering what curse or insolence brought it near. I remember the nonchalance of kissed teeth, the nonchalance of the hand which carried it, throwing it onto the adjacent plot, overrun with overgrowth. I do not remember a specific song, but I remember singing in unison in tree on the way to school. I do not remember a specific song, but I remember the texture of bird call and the tapestry winding vines and leaves became in the pastel of early morning as we walked for fresh house of cocoa, envisioning the spiral of condensed milk and the warm smile of the woman who every morning brought us warm bread. I remember the synchronicity it takes to make a single ball of fufu, fingers turning as heavy stick descended. I remember my fufu being cut and quartered. I remember the pesh chickens became when hot on heels. I remember feeling vindicated and impatient for delicious meat when they were cut and quartered. I remember the classic beige Mercedes with the plush interior, my cousin's return in said vehicle in the early morning, the belt flung with precision. I remember how incessant his bravery was, but this became routine. I remember waking to everyone around me perplexed, but apparently in dream I had uttered 1 million, 1 million, no, 1 billion, 1 billion. They celebrated, taking it as a sign I was to be rich. I remember being horrified, for I was not there. Who had spoken? Having lived out a century or more, I remember my great-grandmother, who only spoke riddle and wisdom. With such ease I reclined into her eyes, milky, ways of forefathers, a universe of its own, predating modernity and rooted in supernatural antiquity, their nobility and faults imparted as gospel. She was lucid and wizened, not frail. When she passed, frailty was truly upon us all. Yet death evens all. Even when the love reach its domain, there's life. I remember funeral finery hugging body, Ajwa dancer, acrobatics and wailing. I remember my return and the promises, me, now Ghana Boga, more rugged and more adept. I flew alone and navigated the terminal's labyrinth with the confidence of a grown man. A breathless steward had to retrieve me. I remember my vernacular being much like Samuel L. Jackson's. Shit, man, you know what I'm saying? Don't mess with a player. Me a real Kumasi guy. I ran here and hand me. But whoa, and this one. That was my
What would be any swan now?
Okay, so we're going to sign off this evening with some more powerful observations from Poet Listen. Remember, we've got a poem that he's going to read for us afterwards as well. So can we just give him a round of applause?
Thank you. Right. this is my last performance for tonight. I'll start this performance with an excerpt from a popular book, Things Fall Apart. Chinua Achebe from Nigeria. So I'm starting the performance with an excerpt from his book, and it has everything that we are talking about tonight. And so even after this excerpt and you don't perform any poems, it will be good. So this is from Things Fall Apart. It is already too late, said Oberika sadly. Our own men and our sons have joined the ranks of the stranger. They have joined his religion and they help to uphold his government. If we should try to drive out the white men in Imofia, we should find it easy. There are only two of them. But what of our own people who are following their way and have been given power? They would go to Umoro and bring the soldiers, and we will be like Abame. He paused for a long time and then said, I told you on my last visit to Mbanta how they hanged Aneto. What has happened to that piece of land in dispute? Asked Okongo. The white man's court has decided that it should belong to E-Ananse family, who have given much money to the white man's messenger and interpreter. Does the white man understand our customs about land? How can he, when he does not even speak our tongue, but he says that our customs are bad? And our own brothers who have taken up his religion also say that our customs are bad. How do you think we can fight, even when our own brothers have turned against us? The white man is very clever. He came peacefully and quietly with his religion. We were amused at his foolishness and allowed him to stay. Now he has won our brothers, and our clan can no longer act like one. He has held a knife at the things that held us together, and we have fallen apart. So this is an excerpt from Things Fall Apart. I have read Things Fall Apart. Like I don't know how many times, but I have read it so many times. That's why I have the excerpt in my head, and it is an excerpt that I always look on to when I'm writing on social issues. The aspect of identity, heritage, and possession, religion, and all is captured in the poem, in the excerpt. So I always look on it when I'm writing something. This is a poem I have read on a lot of. I've read this poem on a lot of media houses, like televisions, and only one television station was able to post it. And that tells us how bad it is because usually when you appear on television, they have to upload the files online for people to see, but they didn't. Only one television station posted this poem. And I'm shaking.
Which one? Which television station? Which television station?
Yeah, City, which is now Channel 1 TV, they only posted it. Yeah, we are going to war, so. The next poem. Okay, so the next poem is titled Selma, My Alabama. It is a poem of love, but a poem also to the country, inspired by the Revolution March that happened in Alabama, Martin Luther King's march. Yeah. So this is a poem of love and a poem to a city. So Selma, my Alabama, just in case I don't see you later, this is my honest letter enclosed with a kiss. Your glowing smile has taken up residence in my mind. I waste time stargazing as your memories go by, but you live endlessly in your said goodbye. For lack of descriptive lines, let's simply say I am obsessed with being you and us.
I know we said our love is age and closer, that perhaps we will feel as new, clearer from a distance. But if I am being honest, I miss the familiar voice that was my personal hug. I miss the beauty of your heart. If I am being honest, you leave on the pains and tears on my chest. Because Selma, my Alabama, ever since you left, I have been drenched by loneliness. When I talk about you to myself, sad happiness fearlessly trend on my emotions. I dance nakedly before your memory, our memories. I do not know what it means. Perhaps I am losing my mind that I wasn't all for you. Ever since you left, life is busy not making sense. And it feels you put a spell on me. But Selma, my Alabama, sometimes I try to forgive myself for being scared to fall deeper into you. I try to heal for you to see me like you don't remember and love me the way you loved us. But just in case I don't see you later, this is my honest letter enclosed with a kiss. Maybe I will learn to live without you for a while and still be a ring away, because you are my Selma, my Alabama, my city. Selma, my Alabama. A little explanation. It's a laugh poem, but I added it to this protest performance because I think we have long lost the love we have for our country, and so this was a poem that I was reflecting about it. So that's why I said in the last stanza that maybe I'll learn to live without my country for a while, but I'll pretend to be a ring away, which means I think I don't know what will happen, but I feel there's not going to be a time. It's not like I'm not hopeful, please. I'm very hopeful, but I think that there will never be a time that the citizens, like at least 51% of our citizens, will fall in love with our country again and say, let's put it on the right path. Because go even from junior high to senior high to university, you are struggling to even get fees to pay your school fees. There are no government structures. The secretary, or imagine they going through this hell and getting to the top. What will happen? They will try and redeem themselves, like the debt that they will try. So if we don't make changes from the basic level, then I don't think there's never going to be a time where we all fall in love in our country and say, oh, okay, it's enough, let's care for the country. Unemployment rate very high. We are recording this, but I'm sure if we can mute it, I'll be happy. You never like your 9 to 5. If you go back to Ghana, people don't like the work they are doing. The 9 to 5, you wake up 5 a.m. to go to work. You are stuck in traffic for 3 hours. You get to work, you close 5 or 6. You are stuck in traffic. You get home 9. You wake up, you come back. People are not happy, but they are not. I am not happy with my 9 to 5. We are not recording, right? I'm not happy with my 9 to 5. But that's what puts food on the table. So you wake up and you go and do it. So if we don't do something, if there's no government structures to fix things, then we are never getting back the love that we have for our country. Everyone will care about themselves, and that will be the end. And which is very bad, because you need a community to build a nation. If that sense of community, if that sense of contributing to the country is not there, then so this is a poem I wrote, which is Selma, my Alabama, which is a laugh poem that I don't think I'll ever get a chance to love my country again. I love Ghana. Ghana is a peaceful country. I wear Ghana. These rings you see, they are Edinkra symbols. This is a symbol of authority, and anytime if I'm not wearing the national jersey and I'm wearing the ring, it gives me the sense of my country, which I always carry with me. But if care is not taken,
we may have to delete Ghana from the world map.
No. No.
The poem I'll be doing now is Abiola, my frenemy. I performed this poem in Parliament, and ever since they've not invited me again. They invited me, but the occasion on which I performed has been happening. So I asked myself, why? Now you don't want me again. They've not invited me to. I've performed twice in Parliament. The first one was a classical poem. I think they didn't understand it. So they invited me for the second one, and I said, okay, then I'll make it clear. Now they've not invited me again. It's fine. So this poem is titled Abiola, my frenemy. I need a cue, okay? Abiola, when the village appeared, you were here. You were witness in your eyes. Like a cloud in the sky, you carried hopes on your tongue. Said thirst as heavy as desert shall not kill anyone. And suddenly, we believed. But your presence disappeared when water swallowed a new baby at the naming ceremony. And when you heard an organized night has postponed our mourning until another day, serious laughter rooted your face, and your country left midnight across the forecourt to plait the only river on our way home into trenches. You stood miles away from the soul of the square with no respect for ancestors' toils. You watched struggle to torture liberty. Abiola, since you have gone away from the truth, hear what remains to say of this unholy place. Your mother has become a fluent cougar. She does her inner work between the fins of Makola. And your father is the witness whose silence is going observed. They say he is a fool, and it is becoming true. When you went away, Abiola, the voice of today stood barefooted at the gate with a knock for mercy. But injustice lost itself openly, and oppression dressed like democracy to dine on their old rooms. The cry that was lucky yesterday, Abiola, whose name you went away from, is still hanging on the neck of your people, shouldering their sad eyes. Many tears of mourning have returned to the unborn. Marshaled chaos names are obituaries. Your mourners are still on their pitiful tears, and the cry is, how long? How long can you forget your people, Abiola? How long will you do something with the voice they gave you, Abiola? If you finish constantly betraying yourself in the city, Abiola, go turn your neck to your village. Go turn your neck to your village, Abiola. Okay, so this is the poem I performed at the beginning. And it was basically, Ghana is not that, I don't know here, but Ghana, the government structure is not decentralized that much. And so most, when you are elected as an MP, they have their big offices in Accra. They all have to move. So we have about 275 constituencies. When we elect our MPs, their main offices are at just the capital, Accra. And so in this poem, I wanted to title it to my MP. But I knew if I titled it and send it to him, maybe the constituency, they have to send me away. So I said, okay, Abiola is like a friend. Now you have become my enemy. Because when I voted for you, you left the city, you left the village, you went to the city. That has been the end of it. So in this poem, we have been told, or during the election, we are told that hunger will not kill us. When you vote for me, hunger will not kill you. So in this poem, I was saying that you told me that thirst will not kill me.
Even if the test is heavy as a desert, it will not kill me. Now, during the naming ceremony in our village, there was water that was dipped on the tongue of a young boy, and he passed away. So that is quite, it's not a real thing that has happened, but I'm just trying to give you the scenario that when we give birth to people and we are naming them in Ghana, we put water and alcohol, so that we tell them, if you see water, say it is water, if you see alcohol, say it is alcohol. Now, this is the relationship between Abiola, the person referenced in this poem, and us. That you told us water will not, or test will not kill us, but during a naming ceremony, we dipped a water on someone's tongue, the person passed away, and you stood there laughing. Like you didn't care, you didn't show any remorse. So now, you have left us to face our mourning and whatsoever we are dealing with. You have left us that we should deal with it. Okay. Now, the silence of your father is going up. Say, everyone has seen the silence in Ghana. Everyone, like politically, socially, like there's total silence. Those in high authority, they don't. When they come on national television, they don't address the issues. They are only there to campaign. Someone said he's a mate and all that. That's what they are concerned about. The vice president is saying he's a mate. Can you imagine the one running the affairs of the country saying he's now, the one running the economic affairs of the country is now saying he's a mate. He's not in charge of the
in other words, like a conductor.
He's now a conductor.
A bus conductor.
And that is, you see, and that is the sad thing, that we have voted for Abiola to go and do something for us. Now Abiola is telling us that, oh, come on guys, I'm not the one in charge of the bus. I'm just the conductor. I just open the door, people sitting here, I'll close it. I have seen that you don't have mates, you don't have conductors.
No, we don't.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Okay, then this mate is useless. Sorry. So, I'm telling Abiola that he should continue to disgrace himself in the city. He should just continue. But one day he should just turn back and look at his village and see what is happening. He will see what is happening. So one day he should just turn back and see what is happening. This is a poem to Jamestown. There's a community in Ghana called Jamestown Community. You sure? Are you from Jamestown? You're from Jamestown? Oh, yeah, look. Okay. So this is a poem to Jamestown. You have been numbed by floating hopes in an old new town, constantly parading tribute you cannot know tears to. You left and couldn't come to yourself, so they have taken advantage of your absence. You have always been dying before someone is born, left broken, torn into scars, scars wiping into wounds, furrowed wounds, and gaffing you even more. Many times I have asked, how did you get here? That you kissed your mother with the morning odor in your mouth. You have been swimming with waves. The waves over the night is just unjust, but you have been going to sink in the tide. Just when I thought you were up to midnight, over there, where have you been fooled into? Your survival is in struggle. Every 4 years, you give birth to nothing. Well, maybe the leader gambles your people, or when you throw yourself in silence, you are cheated and castled against an empty love. Achebe. Every 4 years, you give birth to nothing. Or maybe when you throw yourself in silence, you are cheated and castled against an empty love. Achebe. So that is a poem to Jamestown. And this is one of the poems I wrote. I think I wrote this about 6 years ago. I only recorded it in 2022. I went to Jamestown and
if you see the life there, it's sad. So why are you laughing? It's really sad. And maybe the question I kept asking myself that day is that maybe every 4 years when we go to the post to vote, we don't. Maybe we just give birth to an empty head and we just move away. Because Jamestown is a fishing community. If you want fish in Accra, or everyone will direct you to Jamestown. But it is the most deprived, like it's one of the towns that is very deprived. No good educational system. There was an art center there. It's gone. The art center is dead, but they are erecting a cathedral to take place over the art center. I don't know, maybe the churches in Ghana have sent a proposal that they want to shut down all their churches and we all worship from the National Cathedral. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the proposal going on. Because art is the heart of a country. If you want to see what the people are going through, you can read from the poets, you can read from the writers, the novelists, you can get to know what the country is going through from them. But you destroy their property, because, and this is a property I'm talking about, is situated in Jamestown. It's dead. Like the art center in Jamestown is gone. When you go there, the children are half naked. You know, it is. If you visit Ghana, don't only stay in Accra. Don't what do you call it? Accra, Medina, East Legon. No, visit some of the inner communities, Jamestown, Choko, Mamobi. Visit these areas. Maybe when you return to UK, you try and get us some small shirts, send it back home for them to get something to wear. So please, Accra is not only East Legon, Ghana is not only East Legon. Ghana is also Choko. So visit Choko. You see Choko for yourself. Now this is another poem that I am talking to my country, that if my country loves me, it should come. It's titled Domia Bra. Domia Bra. Yeah, I'm saying that if my country loves me, then my country should come to me. So Domia Bra. They say you rode our love across midnight, not looking back. You stumbled through memories with pieces of betrayed love braided on your head. And no one knows where you've stripped yourself, weaving tears all alone in bed. Wish I could tell you. Same night sneaks into my tears. Maybe I have kept you fair enough, and giving up on us, you take a lot of me closer to war. And I am afraid within my soul, you are our home, my dream, who my hopes takes over. So if your love should ever remember, Domiabra, and if it is love returning home, I'll be waiting. I'll be waiting with my love's bed cord uncut. I'll be waiting to drink from the lip of your heart and lay upon your soft breast ballads I wrote of you when you left. And should you return from years, I will raise me up than your shadow and come back home to you, wearing our spare love around my neck. So I'm a Ghana, Domia Bra. So this is Domia. Also another form of love that I'm saying that I know my country has let go of me, and I've been writing ballads and poems and whatsoever about my country. So if my country ever thinks of me that, okay, I need to get back to you, I'll be waiting for my country, because Ghana is all we have, Komako is all we have. We are the gateway to Africa, so that's what I'm saying. So, and we know history that men evolved from the tropical Africa. So, and Africa is basically Ghana, not Ghana alone. Ghana is the gateway to Africa. So we are all part of Ghana. So if our country loves us, then our country to try to get back to us. And if it ever occurs to my country that she wants me back, yes, I'll be waiting. So my country is kind of an ex, but when I started writing poetry, I was in senior high school. I loved reading poems of others, and the journey of my poetry, you can listen to it on Academy Magazine. You can listen to it on the podcast. Yeah, connecting communities with Academy Magazine, please. Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you can listen to it. How poetry became my passion. Yeah, please. I won't tell the story here. I'm only saying that this is one of the poems that I wrote that people, I was reciting and they were like, I went back home, I watched the video and was like, I will do this, and please, there's more on the podcast so you can listen to it. I'm only going to recite this poem. I recite most of my poems off air because I spend restless nights rehearsing and trying to get to know the poems so that I live by the poems, not just on paper and just throw them away somewhere. But so if you wake me up at dawn and you ask me this poem, I'll just go. So this is a poem titled Our Father's House. There's a poem I'll recite, the year of return. Okay, I won't recite it. It's also on the Academy. Please read it. In our own father's house. Can we do Pete Pete again?
Yeah.
You remember the song? Pete Pete,
Seniwa dedende, seniwa,
Pete Pete,
seniwa dedende, seniwa,
oh mami fure,
seniwa dedende, seniwa, seniwa dedende, seniwa, seniwa dedende, seniwa, seniwa dedende, seniwa. Seniwa dedende, seniwa, seniwa dedende, seniwa, oh, seniwa dedende, seniwa dedende, seniwa dedende, seniwa.
In the twilight blues and of the sunrise that holds the corridors of our father's house, things are not the same anymore. We are leaving our shores. Home sweet bitter, there is no sweetness here. Because in our own father's house, we have no courage to tell the midnight bombita that we were present at the feast that sold our ancient pride for commoners. In our own father's house, far near home, good night to good night, ducks to ducks. When we called the Berika before cockcrow, he said it is already too late. In our own father's house, when we wanted to sing old songs of praise songs, traditionally, purely of patriotic songs, we were told to dance to the songs from witless drummers. In our own father's house, we have lost our tongues in ganja smoke. They rape our flames to fade into a nameless gathering, a gathering that neatly, cheerfully, and proudly sits us at the funeral grounds to bid our fathers stand the final goodbye. In our own father's house, strangers are teaching us who our God is, what tongue we should wear, the name we should bear. What the hell? Whose father's house will you hear this nightmare? In our own father's house. Where are you, Clue? The eye of snow is seeing the nakedness of our mother in our own father's house. Where are you in Nyerere, Kenyatta, Ya Asantwa, Nkrumah, Mandela, that we beg to sleep in our own father's house? In our own father's house, we are dying out and we are falling apart. Even beyond the veil of ancient memories, we have been sleeping on endless tears, grief in our hearts. Our souls cannot breathe. In our own father's house, strangers are teaching us who our God is, what tongue we should wear, and the name we should bear. In our own father's house. This is in our own father's house. Thank you. this poem, I was exploring the concept of a lost identity. My name is James Lemaire, by the way. That's my legal name, James Lemaire. James, I don't know if James is a Ghanaian name. James is not a Ghanaian name. Lemaire is not a Ghanaian name. And before the introduction of religion or Christianity, we had our own mode of worship. And so in this poem, I was just trying to tell that it looks like we have lost our identity. When they name someone Kofi Abugri Tutu, like let's say Kofi Abugri Tutu, which Tutu, and I can't name Abugri from the north, Kofi from. When you name someone like that, they grow up and quickly they'll change their name because what is Kofi Abugri Tutu? People don't appreciate being named in their traditional, like with their traditional names. People, you hear foreign names all over. People like to be called Josephine Whiteland, Rosemary, Godlove, Franklina, and all that. I'm not saying they are bad names, but we have tend to prefer these names than our own identity. And so, and yeah, we are in Ghana, but which is our own motherland, our fatherland, but we beg for certain things that are supposed to be ours. I'm not saying we should be selfish or greedy, but what a white person, I'm not trying to be racist, please, but I'm just trying to say that the privilege that someone with a white color will get in Ghana, someone wearing the same color black will not get. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just, because I needed a visa to come here. And the restrictions, like the kind of restriction, the things they were asking of me, bank statement, this statement, like, but a person of color will also come like to Ghana, and the avenues or the phases that you go through, me as a citizen don't get. It's not about we should give equal privileges to ourselves as people. So what you get when you come to Ghana, you should be able. I'm not saying you should give me the King's Palace to go and sleep at, but at least there are things that we can all share as humans. And so that is what this poem was trying to reflect on, that where are you, Kwame Nkrumah, where are you in your level? That even in our own country, in our own continent, Africa, we beg for the smallest things. So that is in our own various houses. Another poem to end it. Poem to end it is okay. The last poem to end it is a poem titled Nowhere to, Nowhere to. Nowhere to, Nowhere to. And it's a poem I admire so much, so I'll use it to end it. It's a poem by, I'm trying to tell you more of other poets in Ghana than those who have done their best. It's a poem by Professor Kofi Anido. It's titled Nowhere to, Nowhere to. Nowhere to, Nowhere to. Nowhere to, Nowhere to. And if you come back home and find back our dreams lurking in empty corners of our room, do not believe I have abandoned you to the source in your tears. I must go now into visions beyond our fears. I must climb mountains with the blue dawn and gather a little courage from the yellow promise of sunrise, and still come back home to you, holding futures and rainbows in my eyes. Nowhere to, my nowhere to. There was a conference of ghosts last night lurking in our living bedroom. I heard them speak of amnesty for those we hoped were all in hell. So Noweta, my Noweto. If you come back home and find but our dreams and love lurking in empty corners of this room, do not believe I have abandoned you to the sorrows in your tears. I am going now into visions beyond our fears. I am climbing mountains with the yellow promise of sunrise. I am going to settle the depth of our future children before the hyenas come and unchain their hoops to hawks and crows in borrowed clothes. So if you come back home and find these poems lurking here, do not believe that I have abandoned you. I am going to do the duty of my country, and someday we will meet again. Thank you very
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
And I want to say a very big thank you to Richmond.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so
Kwesi,
much.
Kwesi, come
Kwesi. And Abna for making this possible. I was only coming for one show because I am in an artist residency in Brighton with Gen Records. They saw my work online and they invited me to come and do a performance and just go back home to Ghana. But when I came, I met Abna online 2019, and Abna has really been a part of my progress. I remember writing a poem on abortion. The way Abna came after me, I was and it really shaped me because I didn't see the other aspect. I was being very religious. And so her comments on the poem really shaped me. I don't even remember where the poem is. I didn't say the poem anywhere. And so Abna since 2019 has really been a part of my progress and always critiquing and constructive ones and putting me on a Acadi platform. Like I think I've appeared on the one.
So this is the 4th time, with the podcast. And I'd encourage you, like we've just heard, we've listened to a lot of his amazing poetry, but if you want to understand the genesis, that's the latest podcast that you can listen to on Acadi Magazine. So even if you just Google Acadi Magazine, you'll find it. And I think you also introduced, one of the poems that you just
And there's a poem coming up. I introduced a new poem on the podcast. The title may be I Fell in Love. So we'll be releasing it soon. You can check my discography for it. And I also want to say thank you, Joshua. I met Joshua also online. Joshua is an amazing. Please, when you take your phone.
Joshua Donko.
Okay.
Joshua Donko. Joshua is an amazing.
There's some Donkos in the house.
He came with his friends and all that. Thank you very much. Michelle, the surprise visitors for Michelle because Michelle, she didn't tell me she would come. So Michelle, thank you so much. I met Michelle in Ghana. I manage a library called E-Ananse in Ghana, and that's where we met. Thank you so much for coming. Madam Grace, thank you so much. Grace, Samira, Samira also, I met Samira online. And thank you so much.
Really powerful, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Kyrie.
Yeah, thank you so much. For me, I can see you came with the whole family. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, what's your name?
Liz.
Liz. Thank you. And your sister or your friend?
Good friend of the poet.
Oh, another poet.
Please, you have to bless us before you go. You have to give us something before we go.
Give us something. Give us something.
Oh, no. I don't know what was going on. No. I'm good.
Or tell us where we can hear more of your work.
One day.
So, one thing that that Poetivist has not mentioned is he'll be performing next week on the 22nd at the Rose Hill in Brighton. He's actually got an EP that he's working on. You forgot to say that.
Yes. So it's a project on mental health. So I'm sorry, I had a brother. He was my uncle's son. We were very close. We shared the same room, and an incident happened, so he took his own life. And the trauma, the loss, and the grief, everything that I went through. Well, in Ghana, it's a taboo to talk about suicide. When someone takes their life, we don't talk about it. We don't give the person even a fitting barrier, because they say if you do that, you are condoning it, and then they say, okay, it's fine. So what I went through, I wrote it as a poem. So there's a poem titled "The Beginning of God Ends Here." It talks about how religious hopes can kill. I have a poem on it, Interlude to Grieve, and also, so it's a poem in about 4 themes: my relationship with my father, and what that combined. So we are recording it. They saw one of the poems and they said they liked the poem. So I should come to UK and come and soundtrack and perform it. So I'll be doing the live performance of the collection in Brighton at the Rose Hill on 22nd. And thanks to Abna, I got another opportunity to perform at Omnibus Theatre. So on 20th, I'll be performing. The 22nd, I'll do my final. We'll go back to yeah, so.
Can I just interject? Omnibus Theatre, they showcase the drum. So if you know anything about James Barnell, the award-winning photographer who celebrated his birthday on the 6th of June, 95 years old. The play is about him and Mike Egan, who was the first BBC presenter in this country. Ghanaian presenter in this country, who's just slightly younger than him. I think he's 86. 87, okay, sorry. Both alive and kicking. James Barnell celebrated his birthday in Ghana. He flew all the way. And this lovely gentleman was part of organising. Yeah, you keep forgetting to mention.
Yeah, a lot. So I did, I created a workshop. I created a photojournal workshop. And also I did the Grand Deba for James Barnell in Accra. So
yeah, so there's a play that it's almost like a recreation, a reimagination of the time when these two men met and took photos of each other, and you're going to be performing. They're going to be just doing a segment of the whole play. So the play came out, it was when the Queen died. So was that, is it 2 years?
Yes, almost 2 years.
Yeah, so when the Queen died, we went to go and see it, and it was really, really good. So, I mean, if you get a chance, I don't know how much the tickets are for this performance, but Poetivist will be part of that on the 20th.
Yeah, I'll be performing on the 20th.
So he's really busy, and I've been saying that he needs to actually see a bit of London if he can.
Yeah, well, for what I have seen, there are more trees in London than I think the green. The only thing that I'm trying to write poems on my travels. Yeah, so the only thing I have noticed is everyone is straightforward here. A lot of you all mind your business. When you wake in Ghana, you wake up, you jump on the street and a small child will greet you, hello, good morning. But here, when we come out and see everyone, everyone is busy. Like, it looks like everyone is busy. Everyone
straight face.
Yeah, the public transport, you have to use, is it something tap and pay and go and something like that.
You had it on the bus in Ghana. You used to have that tap and go. You know that bus?
I got a little bus.
Yeah.
It's a story for another
2 weeks. He's going to do a poem on that.
I tried to tap on it, and they said I should hold the phone closer to me. I had gotten out from the bus, so I wanted to ask someone that, do I have to change the bus and go and tap it again? And they said, Well, I don't know. If you don't know, how do you expect me to know? I think I love that you all came out, and this is, I was telling Abna, the first community I saw is the boss back when they were watching it. And this is the second community I have seen where people come together. Please, when you're walking on the street, people are going through a lot. Let's try and greet at least. Because I don't know what kind of country it is.
Before we release you, please remember there's little nibbles and everything at the back, but we created a poem when we first congregated, an amazing poem. We're all poets now, and it's called June. So Davina's left. Davina named it June, and we would like you to christen the poem. I've got it here, or put it on your phone, whichever you want. Can you read it? Yeah. Okay. It's as a picture. I sent you. Yeah, so it's called June, and that's it. And your best poetic voice, and I'm going to sit here. So this is our poem. We all created a line. For those of you who missed it, we all created a line. And poetic voice.
Do you want to continue?
It's just I think we're sort of half an hour over. Not in a bad way. Yeah, I'm being Rishi Sunak. It overran.
No, this is England. We go by the time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not Ghana.
Okay, so first of all, I want to hear the poems from your own voices. Then
I'm not sure everyone's here. That would, yeah. So Davina said part, and Lanway said part. But if you remember your part, then fine.
I
did. So I said, in this wet month of June, I glanced upon a star.
Oh, sorry, I said the next line.
Okay, yours is here, the second bullet point. Sorry.
I was struck by its brightness. I was wishing from afar.
Who went next?
Who was next?
The third point.
Where is it?
It might be wet as well.
It might be wet. It might be horrible, but the plants need the rain to grow.
Yeah. Who was next? It starts with.
I think it was Davina that was next.
Yeah, okay. So some people aren't here, so that's why I wanted you to tie it all together.
So you can read the next line. I wanted to hear the poems in the voices of the ordinary before I take
Oh,
it.
okay.
So
who
Into lush green goodness. Was the next line?
grows and
Grows and replenishes the air.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to read that one?
Because as the world spins and generates,
Should be gyrates,
Thank
Should be gyrates, sorry.
Derek.
Yeah, sorry, that's me.
It's this one. In this wet month.
Sunshine.
Can you see it?
In this wet month of June, the sunshine can't be too soon.
Can't come too soon.
Where are we? Yeah, so one more line. Who would like to read it? That one there. So long.
So long as it's not too cold to turn the heating on, I am fine with it.
Yes.
Because it can't come too soon.
Yes, by all of us.
okay, so I'll start a line. I'll also add a line. Then I'll continue the point.
I like that. If someone could, I'll record that.
I have come to see the beauty of a green hill away from the motherland in this wet month of June. I glanced upon a star. I was struck by its brightness and was wishing from afar. It might be wet, It might be horrible, but the plants need the rain to grow. Grows and replenishes the earth, because as the world spins and generates its rebirth in this wet month of June. The sunshine can't too soon. So long as it is not too cold to turn the heating on, I am fine with it. I have come to see the beauty of a green hill away from the motherland in this month of June.